Hello.
Hello, Ron.
Yes.
Dude, what's going on, man? You are live right now on the Zach Moonshine Show with Metal Devastation fucking Radio.
Oh, man, that's awesome, brother.
Fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah. Dude, we just got done blasting Witch's Sabbath and Brainwasher from the new record, man. It's fucking badass, dude. Love it, man.
Brainwasher, Brainwasher, Brainwasher. I want to eat your brain.
Hell yeah.
And what about Witch's Sabbath, man? We got the Tardy brothers on there, Donald and John Tardy. Is that incredible?
Yeah, dude, I love that shit, man. I'm a fucking huge fan of Obituary too, man. I fucking love those guys, man. So yeah, fuck, that's bad.
Well, one time in the 80s when I still lived at home with my mom and dad, there was a knock on the. My mom said, "There's two boys at the door. They want to talk to you." So I went to the door and they said, "Two kids on bicycles." And I said, "Are you Nasty Ronnie?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "What's up?" And they go, "Man, we're John and Donald Tardy, and we want to know how to start a band." I'm like, dude, you guys are fucking incredible. I mean, you came right to the source of someone who was marketing heavy metal in Brandon like no one else. They came, they found my house, and they knocked on the door. I said, "You guys are brilliant, man." I said, "Get in my car." I had a 70 Chevelle. I said, "Let's go to Lithia Springs, and we're going to throw the Frisbee for about 5 hours, and I'll tune you guys up." And, and then, probably 10 or 15 years later, I mean, history they did their thing, and just unbelievable guys, But then they did that video, 10,000 Ways to Die, which was an animated video, and this was like 15 years after they got started. They paid tribute to Nasty Savage, and I was like, man, that is so fucking cool. And so when we were doing this album, I told the record company guy, before I even talked to John and Donald, I said, dude, if we do this album, the Tardy brothers are going to be on it. We're going to redo Witch's Sabbath from the demo tape. And he goes, "Oh, Ron, that would be great." So I called the guys up, and they said, "Hell yeah, let's do this." And they fit it in their schedule right when we were doing our schedule between tours, because they're so busy. And they delivered, man. And you know what? It was really cool, because after the recording, I went to their studio, because I was doing like a behind-the-scenes video thing. So I wanted to get a couple of quotes from them, and it's still going to be released. Anyway, I wanted to get a couple of quotes from them, and they did. And then before I was leaving, I started asking them, I said, "Dude, when you guys go on tour, what do you do with all the cash? How do you get it, through the airlines and customs? And, what's the things you do?" And then I said, "What about, booking agency? Or you got a good promotional company?" And, they're kind of smartening me up, And I'm driving home that day, by myself with a big smile on my face, and looked in the mirror and said, "Man, the teacher is now the student," So life goes in circles, man, and
yeah,
it's really just cool. You just got to make the most of it all,
That is some full circle shit, man. And
it is.
You're dude, like Obituary, yeah, but like there's been so many death metal bands that I've talked to throughout the years on my show with interviews or documentaries that I've seen and stuff. Like Nasty Savage is always getting mentioned when it comes to the Florida fucking scene down there, like the way that it was back then, man. You guys are always getting fucking mentioned. I'm like, fuck, dude. Fucking.
Well, when we came out, it was just this band called Avatar, and then they turned into Savatage, and we used to go see them, and there's another band, Argus, and there wasn't a lot, and there was Judas Priest, if you wanted to sound like that and everything. So we started this band, and we just I said, "You know what? I can't sing like Judas Priest and stuff. Let's just do our own music, and then no one can tell us that we suck," I said, "Let's do Nasty Savage." And that's what I told him. I said, "If you want me to be in this band, I'll be over Monday with a game plan." And it was Craig Huffman, Fred, and Ben. They were in this band called Nightmare. So I was like, "You want me to be your singer?" I tried it out, and I never heard back from him. I saw him at a keg party. I said, "Dude, you want me to be your singer or not?" And they said, "Yeah." I go, "I'll be over Monday with a game plan." So I came over Monday. I said, "Look, the name of the band is Nasty Savage. I'm Nasty Ronnie, the wildest singer ever." I said, "We're going to put our money together. We're going to make a demo tape called Wage of Mayhem." I said, "Within 1 year, we're going to be signed to our label. We're going to be getting fan mail from all over. We're going to be touring. I said, is everybody in? And it all happened, you know. So then so if we're going to do it, let's do it, man. So I was like, Barnum Bailey, greatest show on earth, don't miss a beat there. Larger than life promotion, marketing, and then it came in with the stage show, and they backed it up with the music stuff. So we played, and we made an impact on these kids. And they were like, damn, this is metal, you know. At the same time, Venom came out, and then there was Possessed, right? So then we got this real heavy music now, plus we're impacting these kids. So what happened is all these guys started their own bands like Deicide, Morbid Angel, Death, you know, Obituary, and then they had to take it to another level, and they took it to more extreme level that we ever did because it was the sign of the times, you know, and they were like, no, we have to do extreme shit, and they just created that music. And then with Morrisound Recording Studios, where we recorded, bands started going there and recording, and Scott Burns, back in the day, he was just changing tapes and getting coffee, you know, as an assistant, and he just learned from the best there, and he came to be an iconic death metal, you know, producer and engineer.
Oh yeah.
And it blossomed all these bands, but you know, it's just something that we were just ahead of the pack with, starting before everybody. And you know, this was early 80s, 82, you know, and so, you know, we just did what we could do because we didn't know anything else. There was no rules. There was no one to follow. And I'm a marketing promotion guy. You know, if anything, that's what I do now. I publish a magazine for the last 20 years, 30 years, 25 years. And I produce a TV show called Born to Ride, a motorcycle show, and the magazine's Born to Ride. And I took the TV show off the air, you know, after COVID, about 2020, but I produced 1,340 TV episodes.
Hell yeah.
So that's just parallel with what I do for Nasty Savage and, you know, marketing and promotion. And, you know, it's just larger than life, man. Make it happen and be real about it. And so it's really cool when the bands give you respect. And I really feel that the younger kids today want to learn more about old school. They want that. You know, they're into it, and they're educated more, and they're respectful of it, and it helps us get rejuvenated. And here we did this new album, and damn, I'm holding this flag of Nasty Savage, so what am I going to do to bring it back to so people in the old school would say, oh yeah, Nasty Savage, it's that same kind of artwork on the cover. I had to find some good artwork. Didn't want to do no AI or whatever artificial thing that so many bands are doing now.
Yeah.
So I had to go back to Vandekar and shit like that. The guy, he was been dead for 35 years. So I reached out, and it was his grandson who lived there. He said, yeah, come on down, bro. I got you. And I was able to get a damn painting, you know. Then I got the Obituary deal. And so I tried to bring him back at Morrisound. So we tried to bring all that stuff to make it more real to old school, but now to the new school people to learn the past from the history of the present, you know?
Yeah. I mean, fucking absolutely, dude. You know, you're talking about the kids fucking learning about the old shit, you know, like they get on the internet now and fucking go fucking look shit up, man, you know. And I'm looking at you guys right now on Metal Archives, and it's showing your demos 1984, and then your first full-length 1985. That's when you signed with Metal Blade, right?
Yeah, man. And, you know, we used to get in all these fanzines, because one thing I did here locally is, you know, as soon as you start getting in a band and you get fan mail, if you're smart, you're going to go to your newspaper and say, hey, man, Brandon boys, you know, local boys doing good. We're getting mail from Belgium and Canada or Germany and Switzerland and Chile, you know, and then they go, oh, that's great. That's a good story. So they wanted to do a story on us. I said, well, we're playing this week at this Ruby's Pub. I said, why don't you, okay, we'll send our photographers out. So the photographers come out. They're kind of younger guys, you know. We were young at the time, so they're probably in their 30s or something. They're used to going taking pictures of, like, a check presentation or gold shovels going into the ground or an awards banquet, a bunch of boring shit. So now they're at this metal show, and they've never seen anything like back then, the mayhem of like headbangers and thrashers and, mosh pits and stage diving. These dudes were like, hell yeah. They loved it, and they're good photographers. So what I would do, I'd say, hey, man, what are you doing tomorrow? Why don't we go to your office and develop some of these pictures, So they go, okay, let's go, man. This is cool. So they open up the news room, and then we go into the dark room back then, stick the paper in the water and shit and develop the picture. I used to get these killer black and white glossy photos and stuff, man. And I got piles of them, man. And then I'd send them out. Photos, if I'm a publisher, someone sends me a killer photos, a killer demo, or a demo tape, and then a bio. Now I got enough to make a story. Mm-hmm. They just provided me with what I needed to help them. So that's what I did, times about 25 a week. I would send to every fanzine out, and about 3 or 4 months later, we'd get a thing in the mail from Belgium or wherever, and we'd be on the covers of these fucking magazines, And because of that, then we were selling demos. So I sold probably 3,000 demo tapes, back then. And when kids ordered them, man, I would put extra stuff in there, man. I would give them all kinds of stuff because I knew they hung with other headbangers in their town or in their clique. And they'd go, look what I got from Nasty Savage. Oh, my God. So the other dude would say, shit, I don't want to just tape the tape, bootleg it. I'll go order one myself. And it was that psychology of marketing. So I used to get all this mail, and then one day I had a day job, and I'd call my mom. I said, Mom, what letters did we get any mail today? And she goes, yeah, you got this, you got that, you got 10 different things here. And here's one from Metal Blade Records. And it was the one from Brian Slagle saying, man, we want to put you on Metal Massacre 6. And then we want to give you a record, do an album of your own too. So that's really how it began, but it was hard work, and we toured Texas on a demo tape. Dude. Because I dealt with all the radio stations. Like what you're doing right now, man, you're bringing that old school mentality. You're helping metal, you're helping the scene, and you're storytelling, and you're documenting history, for heavy metal. And back in the day, man, there was like every college had underground metal shows and everything. And I would just send out demos to all these DJs again, and then I'd put a promo on the end of the demo and say, this is Nasty Ronnie from Nasty Savage, and here's a song off our demo tape. I'd say, Nasty Savage, this is Ronnie from Nasty Savage here on KPFT Houston, Texas, and here's a song off our new demo. So I'd give them a promo, so they're going to play it, right? So I did all that shit, and finally the radio station, this one said, Metal Blade, you need to sign these guys, and that's how it really happened. But, I see so many bands today, they think something's going to drop in their lap, and it's so crowded out there now with even new releases and demos, and you just got to get out there and create a following in your own home, sell out some places, create a lot of social media followers or just real followers, sell a lot of shirts, it's hard to get signed now. The record companies, they're not selling records. It's all digital. It's really hard.
Yeah, dude. What went through your mind when fucking Metal Blade fucking hit you up like that? Did you realize like how big that would be at the time, or?
Well, it was like a dream that we had. I mean, we wanted to get signed. It was part of that goal I had for within 1 year. So we were on their radar, but we're from Florida. Where the alligators are and the swamps and the beaches, and there's no metal bands from Florida. It's all in California and LA, and so here we are on our East Coast, and there's Anthrax up there, and some New York bands, Overkill, but now here we're coming in from Florida, so everybody was like, let's see what these guys could do. So we were all excited. We thought, oh man, we're going to be really stars now. We're going to make money. It's like we're getting a record deal. It was like, wow. So that just took the news, Brandon News, to another level, and they did more stories on us. I used to get in the paper all the time. It was really cool, man. It was really cool. And one thing that happened locally, when you start a band, you got to get the word out. MTV just came on the air, and I used to buy all my leathers and studs and shit at this one place called Shalimar in the mall. And it was this Indian dude. And one day I was in there, and he goes, "Hey, Nasty Ronnie," he said, "we're going to do a TV commercial. I'd like to have you on it." So I said, "Okay, cool." So did the commercial, and at the end he goes, "You know what, I want you to say something at the end." So I grabbed the samurai sword off the wall, and I looked at the camera. I go, "This is Nasty Ronnie from Nasty Savage, and I get all my studs and leather at Shalimar." And that was at the end of the commercial. And, dude, when MTV started, everybody was watching MTV.
Yeah.
And he played that commercial was on like
This
20
call is
times a
being
day,
recorded.
man. It was on like 20 times a day, so it really, really helped us. Things like that happen for a reason or just for luck, however it happened, all those little things. I still have people today go, "Man, I remember you on that Shalimar commercial." It was just crazy stuff that would happen.
Yeah, dude. And by the way, thank you for what you said about what we're doing and everything, man. I appreciate that, man. I'm just a fucking metalhead, and I love it to death, man. I'm one of those kids that grew up watching fucking MTV when it fucking started, and Headbangers Ball, and collecting all the magazines and all that shit in the early 80s, man. And just never stopped, man.
Media is very important, and for you to have media that supports the metal movement or the movement. You can help promoters, you can help venues, you can help bands, and that's a way for you to do business as well. It's a way for you to get free records or free vinyl or free CDs, VIP passes, get into the shows, and then you help these promoters put their talent on your show to promote their coming to your town or whatever. And if you work it right, you're a media mogul, and you could really benefit yourself as you benefit the market share and the metal community, man, because like you said, it's your passion. You could turn that passion into even more of a business as you keep learning, as you keep going, because you obviously have old school roots, because a lot of kids don't think like that today. They're not into creating something. I mean, you're storytelling, you're creating a business, for metal, and it's very important, and don't ever sell yourself short, because it's really appreciated by the bands you're helping, and it really does help them. But you just got to keep pushing every day and never let anybody tell you how to do what you do. If it's in your heart, man, just fucking roll with it. Roll every day, outwork people, and just to achieve your goals, to be that ultimate storyteller, and research, develop, and, next thing you know, you'll be getting people you never thought you could get on your show because they're going to be hearing about it.
Yeah, dude, I mean, I'm pinching myself every fucking day, man. Like, this is what I do full time now. Like, it was a hobby for a long time, for many years, and then when COVID happened, some things happened, and just took it full fucking force, and now this is what I do for a living, man, and it's pretty amazing. And I'm always checking myself. I'm always like, what the fuck, dude? Like, this is crazy, man, but it's cool, but yeah, man, like you said, man, you gotta push, you gotta keep pushing, you gotta keep working, and keep doing it, man, and shit'll happen, dude.
Well, I had that day job that I used to call my mom and ask if we got any mail. I got fired from that job, and when I got fired from that, I started this Born to Ride TV show. I was already in the band, and later on, this was in the 90s, I got fired, and I threw my watch away. I said, fuck it, no one's going to tell me what time or anything, because I'm going to outwork them. I'm going to show up earlier. I'm going to stay late. And anybody that works with me, they got to come in early and stay late. They got to have my back. They got to have my passion. But if not, I'm going to try to instill it in them, but I'm not going to lose my passion. I'd want to fly with eagles, man. Fly with eagles and don't deal with turkeys, right?
Yeah.
Just blaze your trail. And that's what everybody should do. Just winners win, leaders lead, and losers lose, and followers follow, So I'd rather be in the top register than the other ones, and you're in control of your show. Take it to the next level or just maintain. But the more you just help the scene, man, people will respect that. We always have to earn respect, and our body of work shows that. But look at it as a blank canvas, and that's what we're painting right now, man. We're painting this picture on the canvas of this interview, and that's the magic of what we do, man. It's like, it's magical, it's really cool that people are out there with knowledge from the past that can ask the right questions and deliver a show. People think it's easy. It's not. It takes time.
Man, one of the first fucking records I think I ever heard that was really metal, when I was like 8 or 9 years old. I was at a cousin's house, and he handed me Number of the Beast from Iron Maiden and put it on the turntable and put the headphones on me and made me listen to it. It blew my mind. But then I just became a huge fucking Iron Maiden fucking fan. And then it was a few years ago, I was really lucky to get to talk to Paul Di'Anno on the show. And that was one of those moments, too, where I was just like, wow, man, like, this is fucking really real, but, like, it was weird, you just go through it, and, just like I'm talking to you right now, man, you're fucking legendary, but there's so many people that I get to talk to through this medium and be able to connect with, and it's wild, dude, but, like, I guess at the end of the day, we're all the same. We're all just a bunch of freaks, man. Fucking trying to do.
Well, that's right. I mean, first off, the Number of the Beast days with Iron Maiden, that was such a great time for that British heavy metal invasion of all the underground British metal, and the Venoms and the hardcore stuff like that. But Priests, Scorpions, Maiden, Number of the Beast, and Paul Di'Anno was gone. I remember seeing them on the Point of Entry tour with Judas Priest, and it was the Iron Maiden Killers tour, and I saw him in Atlanta at the Fox in Atlanta before I was in a band, and we drove up there just to see him, and it was incredible because that's where we're collecting all those records, man, all the Witchfinder General, Trouble, all the bands, and then the European ones. All those, gosh, I can't even think of them all. Samson. Oh, God, there's just so many. Tigers of Pantang.
Yeah, dude.
All
Diamond
those bands.
Head.
Yeah, Diamond Head.
I had them on the show, too, man.
Yeah, I used to get all those records, those 12-inch singles, and we'd love that shit. And then when we created Nasty Savage, that's what we said. We got to have our own style, man. Because people would go, you need to just sound like this band, or I go, you know what? That same guy 2 weeks later will say, you need to sound like this band. So never listen to what people tell you should do. Then you look at them and say, well, what do you do in life? Oh, I don't have a job. I don't. So it's just follow your passions. And, Paul Di'Anno is such an unbelievable, iconic figure for metal. The Soundhouse tapes and all that shit with the early Iron Maiden stuff, Killer's album, the first album, all those singles and stuff. Yeah, he's legendary. He's gone now, but you got to tell his story, and now you have it to use again. But,
yeah, man,
like I said, leaders lead, man. You just go out and we have to tell stories. That's what I do with my magazine every month, storytelling. It's documenting. Like Born to Ride is, I document the biker lifestyle in a proper manner, and that's what we all should do with whatever proper manner that we're involved in, to show the good side of it, that it creates economic impact. It's what's good in America, in a world, we just came back from Mexico, and man, those fans in Mexico are just crazy, man. They love metal.
Yeah.
We came back from Germany in October. We played there, released a new album, and those fans, it's crazy. And we're talking right now because of one reason. I mean, because of heavy metal music. Music brought us together, and it brings us together no matter what color we are, what language we speak. the speaking of the heavy music is, it's like rock and roll and everything, but man, metal people are very loyal. It's almost a parallel with what I do with the bikers. The biker community is loyal as hell, and they have your back, and it's really great to see the camaraderie that metal has right now with the kids in the crowd. And it's funny, man, because after the show, I'll go over to our merchandise booth and just meet and greet and say hello to people. And then these old guys will come up to me and go, yeah, man, I've been a fan. I love Nasty Sad, blah, blah, blah. So I look at them. They got gray beards and shit. I go, so how old are you, man? And they go, well, I'm 54. I'm 58. I'm like, God damn. I said, I'm the oldest guy in here all the time. It seems I'm 63 and still doing it, man. I'm still smashing televisions. I'm still getting bloody. I'm still raising hell with chains and smashing TVs. I'm still doing that. But it's funny because I tend to be the oldest one around, and these young kids are freaked out because they don't really know about it. And when they see it, it burns images in their brain, man, and that's what I'm good at, is burning images in people's brains and giving something they'll never forget.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. You mentioned Mexico, and it's making me think, I also do promotions as well as a side gig to this, and fucking, 9 times out of 10, anything that I send out, press releases and stuff like that, man, it's always fucking South America and Europe is always the first. They just jump on shit, man. They don't care fucking, like, they go crazy about everything, man. We still have our scenes here in the U.S. too, don't get me wrong, but like, man, South America and Europe, like, those motherfuckers, they're just crazy for it, dude. Like, they fucking live and breathe that shit, man, And
yeah, man, like Germany, or we play in Germany, but then there's people from all over the world that show up there and all over Europe, and those guys are pretty much metal till they die. They're not going to change. They're wearing their leather and stuff. It's fun to see guys that we've known for 40 years and have grown up, and they're corporate guys too, and they come out and do the metal. But there's certain guys that are just metal, and they just look at with the battle jackets, and they're just metal all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just an amazing thing because the music brought us together. The power of the music, the power of the industry of metal, and how it's evolving, keeps evolving.
Those magazines over there in Europe, man, they'll still put fucking Wasp on the front cover, man. They don't give a fuck. And I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Fucking hell yeah, man. It's badass, dude.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of good loyalty out there, but the bands have to keep creating, and the bands are getting more and more extreme and just their own identities, and it's really good when you see bands that work so hard. Bands like Left to Die, with Terry Butler, but then he's in Obituary, and then he's in that other one. Is that another band? He's
Inhuman Condition.
Yeah, Inhuman. He's just an incredible dude, man. He's like machines. And we got to play in Costa Rica, El Salvador, and Honduras with Left to Die. We did some shows a couple of months ago, and man, they did like 30 shows in South America, and then they took a break. We played on 3 of them with them, and then they took a break, and now they're touring somewhere else, and now Terry's back with Obituary. And it was cool to be with Rick, and Rick was so down to earth. And we talked about the early days when they were diehard Savatage fans before they even had a band. Him and Chuck and Pam used to come to our shows and just headbang. And then they came to one of our practices and said, we started this band called Mantis, and to see him evolve, and now he's back on tour with this Left to Die tribute, that it's a great thing because the fans get to see this, and they do a great job with it, so it's stuff like that, being smart business guys, taking advantage of things, but also delivering, I really respect that so much, and I'm proud if these people say, Nasty Savage, remember those guys, or they inspired me, or they helped us out, something like that. It's really important. It's really important to kind of leave, great relationships or helping people or leave a legacy, stuff like that it's important, to not be dicks,
Well, yeah.
Sometimes you got to be a dick, there's people trying to rip you off or fuck you over.
Right.
But, I could be the dirtiest player in the game, but I choose not to unless I have to, and damn, I can be.
Yeah, but, the industry is not the cleanest thing in the world, man. That's for sure, man. It's pretty fucking dirty, but
Well, think about it. It's hard to be a promoter too, man. You want to be a promoter. Everybody, the bands just want to get paid and show up and do their thing. But nowadays, everybody's got to help promote, market, and you got to be smart with your media buys, or it's just not easy. And then there's shows on top of shows, and then smart promoters are smart promoters, and there's some good ones out there. But then again, you got to watch out for the other ones. But then again, you gotta work the ropes, man, and you gotta work it to make it, and nothing comes easy. You got to get out there and work it. You got to push it. You got to push and push harder. And that's one thing we always did, but we always kind of took care of business, and we always came home alive. We didn't go out there and not make it back home. We weren't dumbasses and just got drunk or in it for the chicks or for the drugs, or because it could be a big party too, man. But you got to really keep your head on straight to survive this shit. And that's another thing I respect. Bands like Atheist, and I talk to these guys, and they really got their heads on. They're business guys, and it's really amazing to just see all the stuff that's happened from Florida alone.
Yeah, well, you gotta be, especially nowadays, man, because you don't have the record labels doing everything for you like they used to do in the old days. I mean, like, I think in the old days, basically, they'd give you a fucking big-ass fucking loan, and then they'd go and pay everybody else to fucking do all this shit. Nowadays, the bands have to pretty much do all that stuff themselves, which can be daunting, but at the same time, it's like, at least you have full control over what you're doing, if you know what you're doing, It's a different animal.
Yeah, I'm just happy that we were able to record again in Morrisound Recording Studio, because we were in good hands there, man. And we did that whole album, Jeopardy Room, in 8 sessions, including master and mixing.
Which sounds amazing, by the way, dude. Like, this new record sounds fucking amazing, dude. It's badass, man.
Yeah, thanks. And I don't think we would have got that sound anywhere else. So, it did take...
It's got that mojo.
I mean, if we were done it anywhere else, it would not sound that good with that kind of budget we worked with. So we're very fortunate. And I've recorded in all 3 of Morrisound's locations. So they think that's pretty cool. But, Jim Morris just, it was 20 years ago that we did that album, Psycho Psycho, right? So we get this new kind of band together and all these guys. I said, okay, we're going to do a record. I said, let's start writing fucking music. And I said, you know what, Pete, I want this to sound like, I got a song called Schizoid Platform. It needs to be schizoid. So I talked to him about it, and he came up with the music, and then I came up with the lyrics. Same thing with Dave Orman. I said, dude, Brainwasher. I got this title, Brainwasher, man, and I'll write the lyrics, but give me something, and then I'd get that from him. And it's just so cool how it comes together like that,
Hell yeah, dude. I gotta ask, man, how did you hear about Tennessee Metal Devastation Music Fest? Because when you fucking messaged that page and I saw that, and I was like, wait a second, it's Nasty Savage? What the fuck? Are you kidding me?
I just saw it, like I was on social media, and I saw this thing, and I said, oh, it's Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
I said, Tennessee, man, that's right up the road from Florida. I said, damn, I'm going to reach out to these dudes. Maybe we could get on that. Maybe we could get on that gig and and put some old school shit in there and turn some people on to what we got going on, man, with this new album. We're hungry, you know. It's like we don't go out and do all these tours and stuff, so we try to do certain shows once in a while, and, you know, we're not doing 20-show tours or nothing because it's just a little harder to do with. If you're going to do a tour bus, a van, you're going to pull a trailer. It's a lot of logistics on this shit, you know.
Yeah.
I would do it if it's set up right, but, you know, so we do these one-off shows. I'm talking to a guy right now for July to go to L.A., and we're going in August to Belgium, and December, Santiago Chili Fest. I think we're playing with Celtic Frost, dude, Tom Warrior, and something over there. But yeah, man, I mean, if there was a spot, I'd like to talk. If you could put me in touch with whoever's making those decisions, I mean, we probably could fucking help draw some people, man.
Yeah, dude, we'll definitely, we'll definitely be in talks with you, man, because I would love to see that happen, man, for sure.
Dude, we'll smash TVs, we'll blow some blood down. We'll put on a show that people won't forget. I mean, it's just it's the natural thing that we do. And the music's, you know, stands the test of time. It's really cool. Some of these songs we've been playing for 40 years, you know, like Witch's Sabbath. God damn it, Triple X, you know, the Unchained Angel. And some of those songs have played every time we've ever played. And they were on our demo tape. It's just so cool.
And you guys,
life goes by fast too, brother.
You guys just played fucking Hell's Heroes in Texas, man. How was that like?
Yeah, that was really awesome. And I'll tell you what, first class all the way. The guy's very established, and it was just an honor to really play that, and for him to give us consideration and then book us and, you know, get us there to play. So Christian is the guy. And he's actually in a band, too, because they were playing in Mexico when we were there.
Hell yeah.
I forget the name of that damn band. But anyway, first class show, and we played on a Friday, 1:30 in the afternoon. It was daylight and shit. So it was different, but it was really cool. Anytime you get to play in front of metal people, you know, and there's people from California, there's Mexico, people from all over, you know, were there to that show. It's well attended.
My friends in Gammaside played there too, man. They were telling me about it.
Oh, those dudes smoked, dude. They played right after we did.
Hell yeah.
And they're Texas boys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got over real good guys too, and they did, you know, it was just there was a lot of great bands, and, you know, they put together a great show, and it was just fun to play. You know, a lot of people probably saw us for the first time, but we always did good in Texas. We always had a lot of big fans all over. Played in Texas a lot, so it's always great. And I always say, give me a T for Texas, man, because we're coming. Oh, you know what? Give me a T for Texas. Give me a T for Tennessee.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, man. Well, fucking, I know you've had a fucking long ass career, man. I know you've seen some fucking crazy shit. What's some of the craziest fucking things that you can remember from a show that you guys played, or something that where you were at, something that sticks out in your mind that maybe people don't know about?
Oh, you know, the craziest thing is just getting up to do it and making it happen and keeping it going. So we did one tour with DRI, probably 1990.
I love DRI.
Okay, it was 60 shows in 65 days. And Sick of It All was a straight edge punk band. So they were the first. Then it was Nasty Savage, kind of long-haired thrash dudes. And then DRI, which was in their crossover thrash zone days. So they were getting flack from hardcore skinheads and, you know, punk rockers who said, you're selling out, man. And then we had the straight edge guys with Sick of It All, straight edge punks with the combat boots on and, you know, the tight jeans, and just badass dudes with suspenders and shit. And, you know, it was just every night was something crazy would happen. So I learned a lot on that tour, man. It's like 60 shows in 65 days. And so at the end of the show, I would say, by the way, you know, we're looking for a place to stay tonight. Anybody got a place, you know? And then people go, dude, come to you can stay at my house. And we never knew. We'd be in South Central L.A., and we'd end up on someone's cold slab floor, you know, or we'd be in Texas. And the girl would say, oh, well, my daddy's in the oil industry, and he's out of town. We'd go to those gigantic mansions. And, you know, it's just the everyday occurrence, dealing with your crew and the guys in the band and just surviving. But there's some crazy shit that's happened for sure, you know. One time we played at Lemoore. First off, this was our first tour ever going to New York, I think. We were going to play with Slayer at Lemoore on Saturday night or whatever. And the night before, we played at CBGB's. So we got to play at CBGB's. Didn't even take one fucking picture or nothing. You know, that's how stupid I was. Anyway.
Nobody had cell phones back then.
I know. It was like bring a camera with the roll of film and shit. So we go there, and I get a telegram. The owner goes, are you Ron? I said, yeah. He goes, here's a telegram for you. It was from Wendy O. Williams. And Wendy O. Williams from the Plasmatics is one of my friends and a big inspiration. And it's a telegram saying, hey, Nasty, sorry I can't make it tonight. I'm in L.A. with Motorhead, Lemmy. He goes, she said, but I'll see you tomorrow at Lemoore in Brooklyn. So I'm like, wow, that's cool. So we play in Brooklyn, Lemoore, Hallows Eve, Nasty Savage, and Slayer. I mean, Slayer is so heavy back. They were just unbelievable. Anyway, so we play. I smash a TV and all this shit. And our dressing room doesn't have a shower or nothing. So I go into Slayer's dressing room. And I said, hey, guys, would you mind if I would take a shower? And they go, hell no, you ain't taking no shower in our dressing room. I'm like, really? Yeah, no. So I'm like, okay. So I leave the dressing room. They go on stage. I go in their dressing room, take a shower. So they're on stage jamming. I go in their dressing room, taking a shower, you know, checking everything out. Get out. I'm drying down and whatever. Wendy O. Williams comes in, and she is Nasty Ronnie. Oh God, what's up? So we're just hanging out in there. And I guess we hung out in there a little too long. Slayer was done, and they come in the dressing room. I was sitting like in the main chair with Wendy O, and they're like, damn, Wendy O, what's up, man? How you doing? And she goes, I'm here to see Nasty Ronnie. Come on, Nasty. And we just left. But it was just later on, like years later, I was in L.A., and Tom Araya was at one of our shows with his brother, so I got to talk to him there, and everything was cool. Then when they came to Tampa, I gave him a Vandekar used to do these sculptures, like demons and all kinds of different sculptures, the artists. So I took a couple to their concert in Tampa and gave them to him. And when I saw him in L.A., his brother goes, oh, this is the dude that gave you that thing that's on your mantle. So he had it on his mantle in his house, I guess. At one time, Tom Araya did this Mendy's goat god. It was really cool shit. So it was cool, man. You know, but crazy things are just really making it through the tour. We toured Europe in '88, went to South America in 1990. So it's you know, there's another cool thing that happened is we're in Brazil, Sao Paulo, and then we went to Rio, and then this kid was part of the road crew, Humberto, and he was a younger kid. He said, tomorrow, Nasty, he goes, you come to my home for dinner. You come to my home. I'm like, what am I going to say? No, sorry, we ain't going to do it. I said, sure, brother. Okay, that sounds good. He goes, I'll have a car come for you at the hotel. So we didn't know where we were going, you know. So we get in the car, and the guy's driving us up this mountain all the way up through the jungles and up the mountain. And we're like, where the fuck are we going, man? And we get to the top of the mountain, and this dude, like a guard, with a rifle over his shoulder, and he looks at looks at the car. He goes, Umberto, and he opens up this big gate, and we go into this fucking palace on the top of the mountain. And his dad was some kind of dignitary, and his mom was some kind of countess. And they had like a 30-foot table of like gold silverware and food. And it was just amazing, you know. And that's the crazy stuff, is when you meet people, and it doesn't matter if they're in a band or not. It's your fans, it's your friends, it's your crew. It's people that you bond with, and when you go back to that city, they're there again for you.
Man.
Like San Antonio, Texas, all these. Every place we go, we meet great people, and it's all about people, I think, you know. And one other thing is, I remember before I was in a band, and we used to go to this one hotel in Lakeland where all the bands would stay. Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Scorpions, Ozzy, you know, all the bands would Kiss, and we'd go there and bring the records and, you know, get them signed. You know, we were fans. These are the guys we had posters in our room and shit with. And the guys would take the time and sign our records and sign our stuff. We'd go, man, that is so cool, man. They made my day. You know, I was like, that's why I buy their records. That's why I support them. That's why I love this band. And once in a while, someone would be a dick, and we'd go, man, that guy's a fucking dick. We still liked their band, but they were just... So I vowed that if I ever got in a band, I was going to give the fans, you know, if they're fans of ours, I'll make their day. I'll give them something special. I'll take the extra time to talk to them and, you know, be real with these people, because that's who got us to where we're at. And those are the cool things, you know. So crazy things, yeah, I've gotten a few fights and, you know, kicked some ass and did some stupid shit. And, you know, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas stuff. But it's the best thing is getting home alive.
Man, you mentioned Hallows Eve. I'm good friends with Tommy, man, from Hallows Eve, and he's a fucking huge supporter of the fest, man. He's always a sponsor. He always comes out and hangs out, man. We're always hanging out and having drinks and talking, man. Cool fucking dude, man.
Yeah, man. We went up to Atlanta, and I remember, man, I met those guys, and because they were playing the show with us. We were playing, I forget the name of the place, some little club in Atlanta. And I remember bringing them into our truck or car, whatever we had, and played our demo tape for the first time, and they heard it, you know, and they were like, holy shit, that's cool, man. You know, and then they had their music, and, you know, they're way ahead of their time, and great guys, too. Hallows Eve, they made their mark, you know. They're really, really good guys, and Tommy's still doing stuff, but good people. Southern boys, you know. They know how to thrash, you know.
He's got his own label now, Black Doomba Records, and he's always putting out fucking all kinds of crazy shit, man. Fucking crazy, man. Cool dude, man. But that's so fucking cool, man. Like, the whole way that everything is connected, man.
Yeah, that's why you never burn bridges, you know. You shouldn't. Right. You know, karma will come back at you, you know. Just look in the mirror. That's who we are. You know, do you like that person? Are you happy? You know, try to be a better person than the person in the mirror, you know. And then another thing, good things will happen to you. You know, if you start being a dick to everybody, you're not going to, you know, it's just old school common sense stuff. I base my business on just common sense, really.
Yeah, man. Moral of the story right here, folks. Don't be a fucking dick.
And look in the mirror, bro. Just, you know, that's who we're dealing with, and the human factor will get you every time. I wrote a song called Human Factor. It's on
Metal Church, man. The Human Factor.
Oh, they wrote one too?
Yeah,
Human Factor?
Dude. Yeah, fucking
It's so real, you know, the human factor. You have a business, you got people working for you, man. It's always a challenge, you know. It's always, man, do they have my back? You know, do I have to do it all myself? You know, you could pay somebody plenty of money and it's still not enough to them. So it's just, man, you get 5 guys in a band and they're all part of the business and they all make it happen and work hard. they're all on the same page, you know. It's not easy. So these people that are successful have mastered their craft and keep homing it in. And I think that's what we have to do in life, you know. It's like, kind of look at it every day as a blank canvas, you know. And I love a blank canvas, especially when I get to write and tell stories and write these songs that I wrote, that Aztec Elegance, or Brainwasher, Southern Fried Homicide, you know. Mm-hmm. Man, it's like I was in heaven writing that shit again. I'm a word man, not a bird man.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, I'm about out of questions for you, man, but let me ask you, like, for people out there listening, for people that want to support you guys, buy some merch, buy records, all that stuff, where's the best place for them to go?
Well, I mean, we have NastySavage.com is a website. It's just got history and a lot of stuff there. There's some YouTube videos and stuff there too, but we do have, you know, the social media stuff. The coolest thing is probably to be a part of Nasty Savage. If you're a fan and want to be with like-minded people, we have a thing called Nasty Savage Metal Nights, and it's a Facebook group. So you just go there and join, and then you can start sharing stuff and all that. And then we have a Facebook page too called Nasty Savage Wage of Mayhem, and you can get in touch with us through either one of those. But yeah, man, there's promoters out there, or, you know, anybody who wants to do some business, they can contact us through that too. Or, you know, I'm not that hard to find, I don't think. But, you know, we really appreciate the time you gave us to talk about Nasty Savage and history, and you know, just keep up the great work with what you're doing. You know, sometimes people don't realize the commitment that you make to tell heavy metal stories and help bands and help promotions, and, you know, keep driving that home, man. If you're doing it now full time, that shows success. So just take it to another level, you know, because don't stop what you're doing. I did a fanzine too back in the day. I did the Wage of Mayhem fanzine, pretty much so I could get free records to review. And I'd send all the record labels, and they'd send me this shit. I'd get like records all the time. I get T-shirts and stuff. So what I chose to do is to help our scene, and I would promote other local bands, other new bands that were coming up from Tampa Bay, because all the media and all the fans they want to see the next band from Florida, the next band from Tampa, the next band from Brandon. And I knew that if I helped the scene grow, it would help us grow, you know, because we're stronger as not one, we're stronger as more people from the scene, you know. So it was a big, like the guy from Siren, Ed Aborn, a good friend of mine, and they're a great band, and they were back in the day too, in the 80s. But one day he came to me, he goes, "Ron, how are you getting in all these damn magazines, you know?" I go, "Well, you know what, I worked hard to get in all these magazines." I go, "But I'll give you the list." I gave him a list of like 40 or 50 different metal connections that I had, because I can give you the list, but are you going to work it? Are you going to actually run with the ball? Are you going to actually score a touchdown or something? Go for it. Yeah. So I did that, and Ed did it, man, and he got a bunch of responses, and they had this movie that they did with Chris Jericho, getting the band back together thing, going to Germany. And when they were recording that, he called me and said, "Dude, I want you to be a part of this because of what you did for me. And I want to tell that story." Yeah, Siren.
Yeah. I worked with those guys, man. I promoted that fucking record and had them on the show, man. Fucking really good dudes, man. Yeah. I saw that movie, and I was, like, blown away. I was like, fuck, dude, I feel that shit, man.
Yeah, so I was in that, you know, and then, you know, and I just did it because I wanted to help people. But see, karma is karma, and good karma is good karma. When you help people and do the right thing, things tend to come back to you, you know, and that's how we grow the scene, and that's how you've grown your, you know, that's how you've grown your business, what you're doing, and It's very important, man, to just promote metal and be excited about it, you know, every day. You know, when I threw my watch away, I said I could work 10, 12 hours a day now. I don't need the time clock bullshit.
It's one of the most important and biggest things that I try to tell everybody that I work with, man, is you've got to network with people, and, you know, especially people that are willing to network with you, man. You got to be thankful. You got to be fucking friendly with the motherfuckers, and just you know, just help each other, and you'll help you know, like, it'll work. Like, if you help each other, man, you can bring each other up to the top of the fucking shit, you know. Like, I mean, it doesn't work every fucking time, obviously, but it doesn't hurt either, you know. Like, it does not, you won't lose anything by fucking helping your fellow bands out that are in your local fucking scene or in your network, you know. And anytime a magazine or a fucking blog or a radio station or anything like that, like, if they take the time to fucking talk to you, man, blow that shit up, man. Fucking put it out there, man, because it all comes back, you know. It all builds.
Yeah, you know, I think it goes back to really simple stuff. Common sense. If you got a business, you know, if you want to create a business, if you want to create networking, just give value to the people you're working with. Sometimes under-promise, over-deliver. And that's how people create raving fans. They say, dude, I love this guy, man. I did this for him, but he did twice as much for me. And now I'm going to do more for him. Next thing you know, you're having dinner somewhere and you're making a pact or something. You know, who knows?
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just like your relationship with your parents, your wife, your kids, your boss. You know, create value, and when the green flag drops, the bullshit stops, man. Just deliver, you know?
Hell yeah. That's
all you got to do. And if everybody would help each other and do more, the world would be a better place.
Yeah, it would, man. Yeah, it would. Well, dude, before I let you go, can I get you to make us a station tag?
Sure.
Whenever you're ready, say something like, "This is Ron from fucking Nasty Savage, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio."
Metal Devastation Radio? Okay. Ready? You want me to do it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Metal Devastation Radio. All right, 3, 2, 1. This is Nasty Ronnie from Nasty Savage, 80s old school Brandon, Tampa Bay metal. And you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio. Don't ever miss it.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Thank you so much, brother, for taking the time to talk to us, man. I really appreciate it. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to blast some more Nasty Savage for these motherfuckers so they can go crazy, all right?
Cool, man. And let me know. Now, does it just aired tonight, or is it's live, or is it going to go on somewhere on your channel?
Yeah, this is all being recorded, and I'll have it uploaded on Sunday, and I'll post it on social media. I'll tag you, and I'll send it to you, man.
Oh, okay. So it's not like it's live tonight. Okay.
It is live, but it's good. It's being recorded too, so.
Okay.
It'll be put out there, man. It'll be everywhere.
Yeah, let me know. I'll share it, and if you're on the Metal Nights thing, you can post it right there too.
Fuck yeah, dude. Send me an invite, man. I'll join that shit, dude.
Yeah, all you got to do is just go to, it's not like you send invites to it. You just got to go to Nasty Savage Metal Nights, and just, when you click it, then I can approve it.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Everybody listening.
And let me know on that show if you got any opportunity for us, I'll talk to whoever I need to talk to.
Yeah, dude. We'll hit you up,
man. And if
we
can't do it, that's fine, but it would be cool to do something in Tennessee because, you know, we need to really promote the Southern fried homicide shit, you know.
Dude,
that's Tennessee, brother.
Dude, we're all about some Southern fucking fried shit, man. Fucking, we'll hit you up, man.
Yeah. And that's in God's country, too, brother. You know, that's a natural high when you're up there, man.
Hell yeah,
I love that shit. Because I ride Harleys, so that's God's country to ride in, man. I know how beautiful it is. Here in Florida, it's pretty flat. go down, take a right. You know, you're at the beach. Go down, take a right. You're in the swamps or something. But
yep.
You know, up there, there's beauty. There's beauty everywhere. But you know, I'd like to go up to Tennessee.
All right, man. Well, we will talk to you soon, brother.
All right. If you need anything, let me know. You got my number now.
All right, man.
All right. Thanks again for what you do. Appreciate you.
There you have it, folks. Fucking Nasty Savage live on the Zach Moonshine Show with Metal Devastation motherfucking radio. Like I said earlier, put your speakers in your windows, put them in your front lawns, put them in your neighbor's driveway, do whatever the fuck you gotta do, man. If you don't see U-Haul trucks everywhere tomorrow, what the fuck are you even... Why are you even... Dude, like, why do you even exist? Like, seriously, man, there's nothing better in life